Buffs Nation. What's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. Pumped to be back. Sadly, my guest who is going to come on here at 5, Darren, McKee DMAC, we had to end up pushing to tomorrow. He had some different things come up, so no biggie. We still wanted to get a show going here for David Talks Buffs, and again, I've had a lot on my mind that I've wanted to talk about. Haven't been able to talk about everything I've wanted to this week so far. So I thought this would be an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's on my mind, which of course is that Coach Prime contract extension, right? But let me know in the comments who's watching. Hit that like on the way in, and we can kind of treat this as an AMA. Kind of ask me anything, and I'll be on here for a little while talking Buffs, talking really anything that y'all want to talk about. So, with that being said, y'all know, been following this channel, I've been saying that we need to give Coach Prime a nice fat contract extension. I mean, since the spring game, seeing what he's been doing with this team. Again, 1-11, this team was dead in the water. This program was dead in the water. This man has resurrected it to new heights. The fact that we are the most watched football team in the country right now is just incredible. And it's looking like DMAC wants to get on here at 7 p.m. So that sounds great with me. I will change that as we're getting talking. But here's what I want to talk about is that Jeremy Bloom has become very vocal about needing to see this contract extension be given to Coach Prime very shortly, which is wonderful because we need to lock Coach Prime up. The buyout right now is too small. It is definitely too small. Right now, it's $15 million within the first year. And then after that, it is, I think it goes down to $10 million in the second year. And again, Coach Prime right now making a little under $6 million a year. He is obviously worth more than that. We have been saying on the channel, and we've seen other people start to get vocal about it too. You have to pay for the uniqueness of Coach Prime because what he's doing can't exactly be replicated with another program with just any sort of generic coach. No one is Deion Sanders, and there is so much value in that, as you guys know. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, right? Jeremy Bloom says we need to give Coach Prime $166 million over the next 10 years. I love it. Right now, Nick Saban makes somewhere around $11 million, I believe. So this would make Coach Prime significantly the highest paid coach in all of college football. And he would definitely be worth the investment. It has been estimated that CU has gained $90 million worth of publicity and exposure this year. Not only is this an investment for the football program, this is an investment for the entire university. And that's what's just so beautiful about this thing. So, anyways, I think that's very interesting that Jeremy Bloom is bringing this up. Of course, he and Joel Klatt, for instance, are big reasons why Coach Prime, was able to come here to Colorado. Big proponents of getting him in here. Obviously putting Rick George, our athletic director, in contact with Coach Prime, and then we see what's happened since. But this is the start of something special. Again, we have all the resources that you need to be a successful football program here now that we've gotten all the academic stuff squared away. Now that our what has been kind of more so of a dormant fan base has been reinvigorated. And of course, bringing in people from all over the world to watch this team, the momentum is gaining. And then you also talk about just how easy, how comfortable it is to live here, how beautiful of a place Boulder is. You're not asking somebody to drive into the middle of nowhere, to come and play big time college football. I'm talking about you, College Station. I'm sorry, man. I just, I just had to say it. But um, this is something that nobody else could come in here and do. Um, Giggity, I want to get to this. Does this year's win percentage play into a new deal, or is the publicity so overwhelming that it doesn't matter? That has been my take. That has been my take. I don't care about the results this year in terms of wins and losses to a degree. We have seen how much life and buzz there is around this program, and again, this is the baseline. What we've seen. It doesn't matter if we win 4 games. It doesn't matter if we win, 10 games. There's going to be a lot of momentum going into this next year. Again, a lot of people want to discount or say, hey, they weren't able to completely flip the roster to build a team that had no holes on it in 1 year. In 1 year, who else has that level of expectation on them? And I think when you look at where we were at last year, the vast improvement that we have had, we're going to continue to see that all throughout the season. You can't discount it. You cannot discount it. Again, people want to move the goalpost on this team. People were saying all the time, they're just lucky if they're going to win 3 games. We're 3-1 right now, which is fantastic. A lot of people did not have the stones to predict that this team would start out the way that they have. So, yeah, Kat coming in here, our Arizona State friend. Nobody is worth 160 million. Nobody. Well, if Sean Payton is worth $17 million a year, Coach Prime is absolutely worth 16 million plus a year. That's easy, for us to say that certain people aren't worth millions of dollars, but when you see what he has done to this entire institution, he's an investment that continues to pay dividends. I think, hell, even at a higher rate. Again, Keck, to play devil's advocate, can you name any other coach that could have come in here and done what he's done in 10 months? I will wait. You should all pump the brakes a little. I get the excitement, but don't cut your nose off to spite your face. Oh, come on, man. Dude, this is the most ridiculous thing. You have been following my channel, Kat. You have been following my channel. You know how dead in the water we have been. You should know this as an Arizona State fan. You should know this, how impossible it can be to resurrect programs from the dead. Enough said. I was there for 1 and 11, and boy, did I miss friends. Absolutely, absolutely, John. I wasn't a train to Boulder to Denver to DIA supposed to be done by now. It'd be great for Boulder and getting players home for living cheaper off campus. Random thought, yes. Yes, and I'm afraid, dude. I know that like out here in Westminster, they're saying that a train station is going to be built here for like a light rail, but who knows when that's going to happen. But the buses, it's not a bad option. I still take the bus quite a bit to DIA, and like Bird's Eye View when he came into town, he took the whole bus to and from campus, to his hotel, which was great. But yes, it would be nice to have more public transit, especially because enrollment, you got to imagine it's going through the freaking roof. I mean, again, we've talked about this in the past. Nick Saban, once he came to Alabama, their enrollment has increased by like 50%, like the amount of students that they have on campus enrolled in classes has like bumped up by 50% since he has been employed Alabama. These coaches like a Nick Saban, like a Kirby Smart. Y'all might not like to hear this, but like a Dan Lanning, and like a Coach Prime, they are worth so much more than the salaries that they are making right now as college football coaches. They are personalities. They are, you know, people that really do represent the entire university. And when they succeed and when they're bringing in eyeballs and buzz and notoriety to their football programs, it is benefiting everybody associated with the university. And that's why Jeremy Bloom, he's a smart man. I think, again, a lot of these people that want to be detractors about coaches, not, not getting a salary increase, this is business. This is business. This is investing for long term security. This is investing for long term growth. And again, why aren't coaches paid more? Simply because these institutions and boosters, they don't want to share that kind of money. But now we're seeing, again, it's just like everything else that we've seen in professional sports with coaches and players. As time goes on, people make more and more and more. That's another reset is going to be coming into college football when it comes to head coaches' salaries because of Coach Prime. I really do think that he will reset the market. The exposure to CU has been estimated at more than $90 million so far this season. Absolutely. Absolutely. John, you're right. It also adds value, to that degree. People want to come here. People, research will want, or like institutions or the government, will continue to get all those different research grants and funds coming in here. There is no hotter place in the country right now than Boulder, Colorado. And for those of you that do not live here, again, Boulder's a great place. It's an awesome place to live. The fact that this is the place to be right now is still mind blowing. It is hard to do. So, man, absolutely, Coach Prime deserves to be the highest paid college football coach, and at $16 million, at $20 million, at $25 million. If he is bringing in $200 million plus of revenue for the school every year, how can you not say he's not worth that? And that's not even talking about the free advertising, that Giggity just put on here, about what they've estimated, the exposure in media dollars is worth. Please. I will wait. I will wait to find, somebody that's a bigger magnet in the college football coaching space. I will wait. Alex chiming in. Did I watch Survivor? Not yet, though. Not yet. I'm sorry. I'll watch it tonight, though. Hopefully. John coming in here saying highest paid employees of the state still, but have to stay on top. It matters absolutely. And again, some of this salary, of course, is funded by boosters. Going to the Big 12, getting that media deal is going to be helpful as well. But again, this is a stock. When you look at coaches as a stock, this is definitely one that's going to have exponential returns, and we're seeing that. I don't see why. Again, I just think this is funny. I just think this is funny. But a lot of people, man, still media, want to look at what is going wrong or why he's not worth that, yada yada yada. Do you think if Tom Brady came in here and had the success that, for instance, if he was at a FCS school for a couple years, had the success that he did, then went to an FBS school, had some success off the bat, do you think people would be, so upset or so skeptical about him already being talked about as being deserved to be, one of the highest paid or the highest paid college football coach in the country? Absolutely not. People just have an issue with how Deion Sanders goes about things because he's a showman. He's one of one. He's I guess you either love him or hate him or whatever. He's got a lot more fans than he does detractors. But again, I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that he has come in and disrupted the entire model to how this whole college football space has gone. And again, you got to pay for a disruptor. Don't you wish you had paid for Amazon stock 20 years ago? Don't you wish you had bought Apple stock 30 years ago? All this sorts of stuff. All this sorts of stuff. This is the same concept, the exact same concept. Just like, and again, credit to the Warriors. Um, you, they came out with a new way of playing basketball that completely, revolutionized how the NBA is played now today. And the Warriors realized that. They took a shot at Steve Kerr to implement this revolutionary ball system, so to speak, and it really paid off, and the NBA will never be the same because of it. We're watching the same thing in college football, absolutely, um, and you pay for that. A revolution is happening, a change in what the old guard is. It's just what it is, man. Like I and this is what cracks me up too. So many other people, man, love to just get mad at the fact of people making more money. What does it have to do with you? Why do people get so upset? These institutions want to act like they are on the same budget as, your local nonprofit down the street, when really they're some of the most powerful institutions in every single one of the states that they reside in. You don't think that they can't find a little bit more money to pay the most important position at their university, which is the head football coach? Please, please. You hear this all the time from these colleges and universities. Oh, we're going to have to cut this. We're just going to have to do that. Yada, yada, yada. We need your money. Woe is me. No, 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 no. That's just the story that they love to tell because they don't want to share the wealth. And what I think would be cool, we've talked about it on this channel before, has been, the idea of taking the Nike approach. Again, with Michael Jordan, giving him a cut of all the revenue from the sales of his shoes. And I'm not talking just about game tickets, Jeremy Bloom brought this up, like giving him, a share in the profit that is coming from all, of the athletics. So I think, man, it could be an exciting thing. And Rick George has kind of approached this whole thing as like with a startup mentality, and I feel like that's why it's worked so well with Coach Prime being here. Is Rick George is kind of stepped back. The institution has said, what do we need to change in order for you to be successful? It's not this mentality of how much power do I need to give up. No, we've checked our ego at the door, something a lot of colleges, boosters, boards of trustees will never do. And that's why we're having this mojo go on right now that is so fun to be a part of, right? Jeffrey Cornelius, start at 200 million. I'm all for it. $20 million. I love it. And I will give. I have told Jeremy Bloom, I retweeted him, quoted him, and said, you know what? I will give. I don't have $100,000 to put into this extension fund like you do, Jeremy Bloom. But I got a few cents coming in from this channel here that I would be totally happy, to donate to our football program, to donate to our athletics. And yeah, the other thing too is that, CU's alumni base, man, we have a big alumni base, and we understand, what happens when you take the approach of like, maybe the coach doesn't necessarily matter too much. Let's just, recruit people based off our brand. Well, once you start losing and all this other stuff, then your brand becomes absolutely useless. We know in college football now, especially today, kids go to play for that specific coach, and then the brand, the university, the culture, the environment, everything like that is kind of icing on the cake, right? But you go to play for that coach that you trust. And it's important that we make Coach Prime, his life as easy as possible. And again, he's not doing this, for the money, but it's about respect. It's about showing respect. Johnny Rocket, Ducks fans here. Senior show with our boy Ryan Winter, and I like how you conduct yourself. Much love and good luck versus USC. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Johnny Rocket. I really appreciate that, man, because man, it was awesome connecting with Ryan, and hopefully we'll chat again as the conference season goes on this year. But man, we got to get to 1-16 against the Trojans, man. Look, I cannot fathom just letting them go off to the Big Ten, man, being 0-17 against these guys, man. Come on. This has got to be the year. This has to be the year that we take them down. This has to be. So I appreciate all the kind words. And again, man, like, best of luck to your Ducks, man. They looked like a top contender right now for the national championship. That speed really caught us off. And I mean, just the way that defense played, incredibly prepared. Felt like they knew what was coming every single time. The pass rush was incredible. It kind of pained me, to see Blake Purchase, man, just tearing up our offensive line, man. That was a guy that I was hoping we can make a last second push for with Coach Prime coming in, last fall. But if you guys don't know, he was the top player coming out of Colorado last year. Ended up going to Oregon and doing really well. So best of luck to your Ducks. Again, I'm going to be cheering for y'all the rest of the way. I like Bo Nix. I like that he's revitalized his career. And, you Ducks fans, man, you guys are passionate. You guys, you guys are deserving, man, of getting a national title over there. Y'all haven't had one yet. Y'all gotten close. And I think that this is the best position that y'all have been in to accomplish that in a very long time, And man, just go take care of business in the Big Ten. Take care of USC. Take care of UCLA. Take care of MSU, Ohio State, Penn State. All that, Michigan. Just go and own it, man. And it's going to be really interesting to see how all that plays out. But you have to be thrilled with how this team is coming together, man, for the Ducks. I love your personality. It's great. I'm glad I subscribed to your channel. Thank you so much, Terry. Again, I want to have fun doing this. And like, what is the point of doing this if you're not going to have fun with it? If you're not going to enjoy every single freaking moment of, what's going on with the highs and lows, all of that, being able to laugh about things, it is, it's been a lot of fun. It still blows my mind, to be honest, man. That's, I think I'm approaching like 800,000 views on this channel since I started it in February. And it still doesn't seem real to me that I get like I'm interesting enough, like for that to happen. But this has been a lot of fun. And when you come to my channel, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get me enjoying this stuff. And that's what I try to do here. But I'm always gonna advocate for people to make more money doing what they're doing. You know? Jeffrey saying we can't beat USC, just be competitive. Well, yes. Realistically, again, approaching this like if if I had $1 million on the line, right, to pick this winner, like a lot of things go in the favor of USC, man, with this game, especially again, Shador has helped us put us over the top in some games that if we had a quarterback that was not as good as the opposing quarterback, I don't think we win. Like, he has been so important to our success this year. It's great to have an NFL caliber quarterback like that, behind center right now. But again, with USC, we need to play a complete game. We have won 3 games in which we have played pretty sloppy football. We've also made some freaking amazing plays, but we haven't put together a full 60-minute game. Can this be the game that we do that? It's going to have to be if we're going to beat USC. It absolutely has to be. We have to run the ball. We have to commit less penalties. Um, it, but we just haven't seen it yet. We just haven't seen it yet, right? And man, that offense, I know USC has not played, the best competition right now, but man, that offense is absolutely terrifying. It really is, man. Take some time to watch it, man. It is absolutely terrifying. They're benching their first team offense after the first half. Um, but just because they're terrifying does not mean they're not vulnerable, and they're definitely vulnerable. And there are some things I think going into favor with us into this matchup. So, you know, again, we gotta get more creative with the game plan. With my film review that John and I did earlier today with some of the Kent State offense, there is more. We got more cards left to play or whatever. We got more stuff, whatever the expression is, man. We got more groceries in the cupboard. Nah, that is not it. That is not it. But y'all get what I'm saying. God's spirit's real. Absolutely. Bo is 25. I know. I know. Um, I love that. So is Sam Hartman, though, I think. But hey, man, at the end of the day, Bo Nix has played himself into somebody that will have a career in the NFL. And you couldn't say that 3 years ago, regardless of his age. I mean, you saw an NFL team draft a guy who was like 28, right? Brandon Weeden. The Browns, man, they drafted Brandon Weeden like the second round, was it? Second or third round? Or was it the first round? It better not have been the first round, but that would have been total Browns move. But yeah, Bo's older. He's got that experience, and he's going to have a nice NFL career, I think. I don't see him as a first round pick, but could he go in the third round? Could he go early day 3? Probably. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else. Giggity. I appreciate the emoji. If the Buffs could lose by like 7 points, I would say that's a win considering USC has way more weapons than CU. Yes. Um, their wide receivers, Branch, and of course, Brendan Rice, CU transfer a couple years back. Absolutely terrifying. They got a running back, Lloyd, absolutely terrifying. They have a quarterback, absolutely terrifying. So yeah, if I think even if we keep this competitive or close, cover the spread, that's going to feel great. Again, this team should take no moral victory, but as a fan, as a guy on YouTube talking in his bedroom, absolutely, absolutely, I'm going to be happy with a competitive result. But I'm going to be happiest if we get to that 1-16, baby. I think Shador will come out looking to redeem himself. Shador will be locked in. Yes, yes. And we took our whooping. Every great team, as they're building into becoming a dominant force, man, they take their whoopings, and that happened to us last week. And this is going to be a great opportunity to bounce back and be that more physical team this time around. Be that cleaner team in terms of minimizing mistakes. Again, USC, they're kind of like a more extreme version of us in some sense because they make a lot of mistakes. They're penalized quite a bit. I don't know if it's as much as we are right now, but they're penalized. They miss a lot of open field tackles and so forth. But they got a ton of top end talent that puts them over the top, right? In these games. And it's going to be interesting to see who plays, the more complete game this week, because I would imagine Trojan fans, they're wanting to see that as well. I mean, Drew Pine, man. Drew Pine carved him up last week. What the heck? The Big 12 is going to get all the attention next year. It's crazy. Yes, 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 yes. And I think, again, before you're having these big time West Coast teams join the Big Ten, it still has been really confusing to me, like how the Big Ten always commands the most money in their media deals. Hats off, to their commissioners, who have negotiated these deals. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how like an Iowa and a Minnesota, and again, To me, it has just seemed like it's like a three-team conference with Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and then of course you got some other passionate fan bases like Wisconsin and Michigan State. I guess Iowa, but it's just like usually three of those teams are kind of good. Maybe one is really really good every year. Um, I think Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA, all those teams are going to come in and be right up there competing for the top, in that conference. But yeah, the views are going to be on the Big 12, absolutely. And I would not be surprised. And I think we can expect this. I think at worst, this is the third strongest conference in the country. We'll have to see kind of what happens with the ACC to see kind of where they go after that. But they're in a great position. And Brett Yormark, again, this guy worked for Rock Nation. Y'all forget that this commissioner worked for Jay-Z. He knows how to promote. He's a fight promoter. He's who got the UFC into Madison Square Garden or Brooklyn, I believe, for New York's first ever UFC event, I believe. So this guy's a promoter. He understands the fight game, which is what this all is. That's what college football is. It's the fight game. It's why I kind of like, seeing coaches come out and talk more. Was the Ryan Day thing a little weird with taking a shot at Lou Holtz? Yeah, that was really weird because I said this earlier. I didn't even know Lou Holtz was still alive, man. If I'm going to be honest, man. I thought that man was dead. But come on, man. You can't be taking a shot at a 100-year-old guy. But at the same time, it's entertaining stuff. Kevin, we'll get the Ducks in a playoff match in a couple of years. Man, that's my hope. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the hype and the build up to that? Can you imagine the storylines with all that? Goodness. I would love that. And again, I think this whole Dan Lanning stuff is so funny because you gotta look at Dan Lanning and some of these other coaches sometimes as like WWE guys, and he was very strategic, about what he did, over last weekend and whatnot. You saw him come out this weekend and just give Coach Prime in Colorado their props, their flowers, all this. Big fan of what he's doing. And, Oregon, that's why I like Oregon, man. They've kind of taken this entrepreneurial, different approach where, like, they invested and created hype and interest for their school in a way where nobody else was doing it. And people want to make fun of them for the uniform combinations and 0 national championships. I'll do that too because it's funny. But at the same time, it has absolutely worked for their program, and they should be proud of that. I mean, they have totally changed the way in which college football is done. If you don't have cool uniforms, what are you doing, man? Whoops, hit my mic. You look good. You feel good, you play good. Man, Brandon Whedon really was a round one, man. Brown's gonna brown, man. Bobby Long. So a man has made your university in excess $100 million in revenue through 4 games, not including stadium and merchandise sales, with expected cap revenue to be close to $300 million. That is insane. That is insane. Yeah, we'll have to see about what the actual tangible revenue is, but yeah, like $100 million, I guess, if you're including all that, what the press is worth, which it's definitely worth. I wonder if you can write that stuff off. Probably a little shady, but Silicon Valley has done much shadier things when it comes to their accounting. This man is not worth 160 million over 10 years? Absolutely he is. You just gave yourself the the whole reason why here, Bobby. You got to help you got to help explain this to me, man, cuz you're confusing me. Kevin, we're playing 2 teams in a row where CU originally recruited a player and they became studs for other teams. Yes, Christian Gonzalez, big time. Brendan Rice, USC, absolutely. If we could have kept those guys, man, that would have been incredible. But They did what they should have done. This program was dead in the water, absolutely, and they did the right thing for their careers. And you saw Brendan Rice talk about it. He's like, man, Boulder's my first love, man. It feels so good, to see the success that they're having. But this is a rivalry game, and I want to go in there and tear up Folsom, as he should want to do. But man, we're gonna have something for USC, man, and it's gonna be fun to see, man. And I guess another star that I'm assuming will be there is Jerry Rice, father of Brendan Rice. Jonas, Littles, David, you're bona fide dogs. Salute, bro. Thank you so much. As always, I love doing all this, man. And again, this thing is just fun. You're not going to rain on my parade this year. Again, do my expectations change for this team next year after a second recruiting cycle? Abso-freaking-lutely. I picked this team to win 8 games this year. But I have said an A+ year for this team is getting to a bowl game no matter what the wins are and getting our first bowl game win in 20 years. Good Lord. Joel Klatt was our quarterback last time we won a bowl game. If that happens, man, bring out the Louis and build a statue with it for Coach Prime. I don't care if if it's only after 1 year. Get this man a statue. Kevin, I don't want all the celebrities coming to the game looking bored by halftime. Please, please see you don't get blown out. See, this is a great point, Kevin. We cannot have that happen. No, sir. No, sir. And that's why, hopefully, man, with the celebrities here, with all the star power, man, we'll really show out. Absolutely, man. We can't have Folsom being emptied out in the second half here, on Big Noon. We cannot have that happen. We got to keep this competitive. All right. Ray coming in here. Lincoln Riley will outcoach Chad Kelly. I think you mean Charles Kelly. Probably. Probably. I think again, Lincoln Riley, offensive guy, yes. I think again, this thing is going to come down to whose guys are tackling better, because both of our teams have done a very poor job of open field tackles. I mean, if you watch CU, you can just go back and watch pretty much every game, except the Nebraska game. We only let kind of 2 runs go. Like, I think we did a pretty good job with Nebraska, but outside of that, it's been kind of sloppy. But on the flip side, with your defense with Alex Grinch, and y'all got to explain to me what the philosophy is, man, with this Alex Grinch defense, man. I feel like half the time these guys are shifting into gaps that are just creating open wide lanes for the offense. But Scattaboo, a short little guy, was trucking y'all, last Saturday. So it's really going to be a battle of who plays cleaner football. But you're absolutely right. Lincoln Riley should be expected to outcoach whatever we're doing on defense, as is Sean Lewis should be expected to outcoach Alex Grinch. And that's what makes this thing so interesting. Special teams, I think, are going to be crucial with this game. We have to punt that stuff out of bounds every single time. I do not care if we're giving USC a little bit better of a field position. We have to get it out of bounds. I don't want Branch touching the ball at all. We have to be kicking the ball out of bounds, or for a touchback every kickoff we have. We have to limit Branch's touches as much as we can. I'm going to be pissed off if we're punting to that man. And Nicholas Braxton, a guy who has followed Shador's career to a T. Shador normally bounces back. Everyone is starting to say Shador isn't good. He will look to put that to sleep. Absolutely. And we're going to give him some more time to throw this time around. Again, we have talked about a lot of what adjustments can be made to help the offensive line a little bit with pass protection. Go check out my other videos for that. Jay-Z is about to be a prime agent. Man, can you imagine getting an NIL deal from Jay-Z, and LeBron James is going to be there? Y'all forget that Bronny has a relationship with our head coach on the basketball team, Tad Boyle, because he coaches Team USA. So, some of the rumors were that, Colorado was in there kind of till the end with his basketball recruitment. Um, of course, it makes sense with him, going to USC and whatnot. But it's going to be great. They're expected to be at this game, and I think that's wonderful. LeBron James and Boulder, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Lou Holtz is alive. Good for him. Enough said, man. Nicole Carter, good to see you. Absolutely. And yes, my interview with DMAC is coming up here at 7 p.m. So I'm super excited. Would appreciate it if you guys come into that stream. He was at the Coach Prime introductory press conference, I believe. So that's going to be one of my first questions to him, just talking about the feel of that. Because, man, that was like an event in itself. I think I watched that press conference like 4 or 5 times. What I loved about it is in that speech, there was a little bit of comedian with Coach Prime. There was a little bit of like a with like a preacher, with Coach Prime, and like a motivational speaker. There was a little bit of like fatherhood, with Coach Prime, and then of course football coach. Like you got a speech from all of those different angles at that introductory press conference. Legendary. I listened to it a bunch of times, man, and that was my church that Sunday afternoon. Absolutely. But the WWE is scripted. Are you saying there's no script writers in NCAA like the NFL? Nicholas Braxton, I think Wilty should start over BB. Yes, Wilty. I'm all about Jack Wilty. Get that man in there again, whether it's at right guard or left guard. I don't care who he replaces. He had a great game. Against TCU. And then where has he been? Yeah, you're right. Sucks to live in Oregon. Should I tell this story? Okay, first off, I love Oregon. I could probably not live there my entire time or my entire life or whatever because of just one of the reasons I love living out here is the 300 days of sunshine, right? So it keeps me happy. I'm one of those guys that's really affected by the seasonality and weather and all that. Um, so years and years ago, before I came out to CU for grad school, I ran a coffee business, a little coffee stand with a buddy of mine in Texas. Um, we had a deal and an investor and all this stuff to start like a brick and mortar coffee shop, kind of transition our mobile business into like having a true home, right? That ended up falling through. Another story for another time. Just Google the people, that are investing in your business. It's probably a good idea. Um, so, anyways, we had some training up to do, some cafe training that we were doing with our coffee provider partner, Heart Roasters out in Portland. And that was the craziest experience of my life. Maybe I should talk about it now if you guys want me to. But it was the craziest experience and horrifying moment of my life. I submitted this story of my first day in Portland to a true horror podcast called Let's Not Meet. But just don't use the app called Couch Surf. We were trying to go out there on a budget, stay for free with somebody. No, 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 no. No, do not do that. Especially, obviously, women probably know that, but do not do that. Okay. Greetings from Uganda, Lutalo Muhammad. Thank you so much. Really means a lot to have you tuning in from the other side of the globe. That's incredible. I want the Ducks in the Pac-12 championship this year. We need to run that fade back. I think the Ducks, they'll be there, man. They will be there. right now, my prediction, again, I predicted preseason for Utah. They should be the favorites going in. Even without Cam Rising, man, Kyle Winningham might be the best coach in in the Pac-12 at least, because he's not getting 4 or 5 star guys, like Oregon is, like CU starting to get now, like USC gets. That man has done an incredible job developing talent, and they might be, again, the most physical team in the pack. I would not be surprised to see the Ducks and the Utes face off again. But of course, man, Washington has come out, firing on all cylinders as well. So it's going to be fun to see. And of course, you cannot discount USC. Again, I I have to kind of drop them kind of a tier below right now because I just don't believe in this Alex Grinch defense. So that, we're just gonna have to see. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. If you hit the steroid players as they're running, it is the only way a non-steroid team like Colorado could beat a steroid team like USC. Wait, what? Are you saying the Trojans all do steroids? Or are you just talking about them figuratively as a steroid team? I'll comment on it like that because they got a bunch of star players on that team. Um, if you hit the steroid players as they're running, I'm sorry, Cecile C. What? A lot of Trojans players like Cam Woods and other star players do steroids? Hey, I cannot verify that. I cannot verify that, but we're gonna have to be the more physical team regardless. I, yeah, again, I can't verify that, but I will say, this is a tangent. Baseball was much better off, man, just letting the players do steroids, man. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Um, D time, good to see you. My interview with DMAC has been pushed back to 7 p.m., but I still want to get on here, talk with all the fellas. USC fan here for y'all that have not met D time yet. He's new to the channel. So welcome. He's cheering for the Buffs as well, even though he is a Trojans fan. So love to see that again. I don't have an issue with anybody jumping in on this bandwagon, man. Like this whole Buffs thing, man, it's just freaking fun, man. It's freaking fun. It pisses people off. You can kind of see like, it's kind of a mirror, to our society in a sense, man, because people make fun of our program, 1 in 11. You guys suck. You guys suck. Why don't you try to be better? Okay, we take an aggressive an approach to try and be better, and now people just hate us again. They just want to see us fail. They want to see us suck. Like, can't you just be happy for somebody that's just getting off the mat from being beat down for 20 years? Come on, can't you just have a little love in your heart, everybody? All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to end the show with this story. I'm just gonna go ahead and share it. So it's probably gonna be about 10 minutes long. And I think some of y'all might find this interesting. Okay. So like I said, it is the year 2017. Okay. So 6 years ago, my buddy and I have been running this coffee business, right? Making a little bit of money. We're both working second jobs and stuff like that to pay bills. But overall, it's going really well. We have this guy comes in, wants to invest with this business. Kind of a con man. We figured out at the end, touched some kids. He had some legal things going on. Had some mug shots there on Google Images. All this stuff that, again, just Google the people that approach you about your business. Never will make that mistake again, right? So We're going up to Portland to train, do some cafe training with this machinery that we've ordered for our cafe, right? So, living out in Texas, man, that's a long flight to Portland. Living out in West Texas, Abilene, Texas, nonetheless. So, we're definitely on a budget. We're flying Spirit. We're flying all day. I mean, we drove 3 hours to Dallas the night before we left on that Saturday to fly out on Sunday. So we fly out to Dallas, hit a connection in LAX. You know how it is in LAX. You got to walk 45 minutes to get to your connecting gate out there. Absolutely miserable. We went like the whole day without eating like a solid meal, man. It was terrible. So, anyways, we get to Portland at probably like 2 or 3 p.m. or so. Maybe it was, yeah, maybe more about 2 p.m. And we're like, okay, we're going to take public transit to our couch surf host's house. Now, let me back up for a minute. Why did we reach out on Couchsurf? Again, the whole premise of it is that these are just friendly people that want to keep or that want to just house people, be nice hosts to people that are traveling so they don't have to spend hundreds of dollars for a hotel or Airbnb, right? So prior to my trip, I'm looking up, I'm looking up some hosts that I feel like got a cool vibe. Again, it's just me and my buddy Daniel. Find some other dudes to chill with while we're working or being trained, for the whole week there in Portland. It was a 5-day thing that we were doing. So I find this one profile that had like 45 would stay again reviews. So I'm like, man, this guy's awesome. His name was Thilo. And I messaged Stylo, and he's got photos of his house with his roommates. Seems really cool. It's really clean. They got clean walls, nice hardwood floors. They show photos of them, out having a cookout or doing Jello shots with the people that they've hosted. They've met a lot of people, right? Sounds cool, right? All right. So I message him. I'm like, hey man, we're coming into Portland next week. Yada yada yada. Can I crash with you? And he said, hey, Dave, absolutely. Would love to host you. It's going to be great. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. So fast forward to that Sunday. We land. I say, hey, Thilo, we're on our way to your place. Should be there in like an hour or so because we got to take the light rail down to downtown and then catch a bus, to his place. So he responds, he's like, hey, I'm still at work, but my roommates are home, so they should be able to let you in, right? I'm So I said, okay. And he said, let's get dinner afterwards or something like that. And I said, all right, man, can't wait to see you and hang out. And he just responds this. He just responds this. He. And at that moment, like I knew, man, something weird was going wrong. But I just kept telling myself, I'm like, man, like he seemed like such a normal dude, on the profile. I'm like, surely that was just like an autocorrect, even though my iPhone never corrects anything to he, you know, whatever. So my friend Daniel, man, he's from West Texas, so he's like never taken public transit ever. So I get off at the light rail. I think he's following me. No, he didn't even realize that the train stopped. So then, he didn't have like a smartphone at the time. It was just a mess, man. I had to like call, direct him to get on another bus and all this stuff. And it just took forever. Finally, like after an hour and a half, we catch this bus to Thylo's place, right? Only, only to discover that my dumbass got us on the wrong bus. Absolutely. So I pull the thing, whatever. We get off, and I was trying to save us all this money by not ordering like a $40 Uber or whatever it is. Man, we end up getting an Uber after all that time. I'm in a bad mood. Again, I hadn't eaten all day. Daniel really needed to pee, like all this stuff. So we finally get to the house, right? Drops us off at the house. I think this was like southeast Portland, something like that. And it's like this big old house, like have you ever watched like It Chapter One? You know, it looks like that kind of house like before it got like totally destroyed. So it like gives off slightly haunted vibes, but like not too much. And you have to like walk up a bunch of these concrete stairs, like 20 or 30 concrete stairs. It's like at the top of the hill, right? So we walk up to the top. It's got this huge outdoor porch, huge. It spans the entire front portion of the house. And we notice when I get up there, like this is the most Portlandia thing ever. Naked mannequin. There's just a naked mannequin just chilling up there. So I'm like, all right, like this is Portland. Like this is how it is, right? So we knock on the door. Okay. We knock on the door. Nobody answers. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I notice that one of the windows on the front porch is open. So I like poke my head through a little bit and I see, that there's like this guy just sitting on this like big old you know, uh, old beaten down like lazy boy chair. I don't know what he was on, man. Like incoherent. Just totally incoherent. And I go, "Hey man, like can you open the door? Like we're here to crash with Thilo, for a few days." And he wakes up and he like says something that I can't even understand it. Totally incoherent. At the same time, all of a sudden, the front door opens. The front door opens in front of Daniel. And what is in front of us? A like 4-year-old kid, like a toddler, and like some stoned out of her mind babysitter. Um, Teenager. I don't know if she was, 17, 18, 19, something kind of around that age. And we're like, hey, we're here for Thilo. And she goes, hey, come on in. There's this kid there. We're like, we never saw the kids in the photos, on the app. Like, this is weird. And I was so focused when I poked my head through originally the window trying to get this guy's attention that I didn't notice this. When we walk into the house looks nothing like it did on the app. Nothing at all. It was dirty. There were flies, gnats flying around everywhere. And this is like the most terrifying thing. There were no clean walls to the house. None at all. The entire house was covered in acid art. Acid art. Like it's like, man, if our Alice in Wonderland, went down like a haunted route, with like it was just messed up, man. All this kind of weird acid art that we're seeing on the ceilings, on the floors, on the walls, everything. And immediately, man, like my heart sinks. Like, what is going on? So we put our stuff down in the front living room area that we walked into, right? And we walk into the kitchen. Dude, the kitchen had dishes piled up for it looked like weeks. Bugs, flies everywhere. Absolutely disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And again, acid art everywhere in every room. So we ask this stone babysitter, hey, where's the bathroom? She says, hey, it's upstairs. So we walk up there. And again, acid art everywhere up these stairs. Every single room. Again, like AP saying, that was a trap house. Well, I'll tell you, man. We get upstairs in every room, the doors are wide open, and it just looked like a murder scene, man. In every single one of these bedrooms, it's just a mattress, clothes everywhere, newspapers everywhere. It's just a mess. Again, acid art all over the place. It was disgusting. So then I'm like, screw it, man. I gotta find us an Airbnb. Gotta put it on the credit card, man. Just gotta take the hit. So I go back down into the kitchen. I'm just chilling down there. Why did I choose the kitchen? Because it was the most disgusting room out of any place I've been into. I do not know. But anyways, then Daniel comes down and he's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I'm freaking on. I'm on Airbnb right now, man. We gotta get out of here. He's like, well, while you're looking for that, he's like, check this out. And he points to this door that's there in the kitchen. The door, written on, with paint, it says, enter and you'll become a butterfly. So my first reaction is absolutely hell no. I'm not going down there. And Daniel makes eye contact with me, and he's like more of this, horror story fan. Like he loves horror movies, and we lock eyes. And I'm like, dude, screw you. Screw you. He's like, dude, I'm going down there while you're looking. I was like, dude, whatever. So this is all what happens next is all what Daniel told me. Okay. Because I wasn't there. But he walks down the stairs and he can't find a light into the basement. So he's using his phone as the light or something like that. Maybe he didn't have data for the maps. I don't know. But he's using his light. So it's like a half finished basement where they got like some different drywall set up, right? So he goes into the first room, he opens it up, and it's just like concrete floor, right? That's it, just with some drywall up. But this next part is what absolutely terrified him. And he shines his light over to the next door. And again, kind of with that same like painted lettering, it says, "Welcome, Daniel." It says, "Welcome, Daniel." And again, I know Daniel's a common name, right? I mean, Thilo knew our names at the same time, which was also weird. But anyways, what I would have done if I was him was absolutely run upstairs immediately because that is creepy, even if it's a coincidence. But he goes to open the door, and this is like 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay. And he opens the door and then he shines his light in, and there's like four bodies just laid down on this concrete floor, like passed the hell out. And he's kind of like waking them up, like with their light. Then he just leaves, man. And I did he see a red balloon floating up? Just about all that, right? So he comes running up as I'm, on looking for Airbnb. At that same time, Daniel's about to come up. I get a text from Thilo, and he says, "On my way home, should be there in 10 minutes. Can't wait to see you." He. So Daniel comes up. He's scared as heck. He goes, "Bro," he goes, "Bro, there are bodies down there. Bro, there are bodies down there, man. We got to get the hell out of here." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, they're just going to steal all our shit and pawn it for money, man. We got to get out of here." And I said, I also told him that, man, we got to get out of here quick because Thylo's on his way home and who knows what's going to happen because he's going to do something to make sure that we're not leaving out of here, right? So we grab our stuff, right? We're like, since there are people in the front entryway in the living room where the front door is, we can't go out that way. So we got to go out the back, right? We got to go out the back. So we grab our stuff, we run out the back, right? And the whole yard is fenced in, and it's like a security fence, man. It's like super high. So they're like 8-foot panels. And we run all throughout, the whole lining of the fence. There isn't even a door. You can't even get out through the backyard. So that means there's only one way to get out this house, and is through the front yard or front door. So we grab our stuff, and I said, try to limit my F bombs on here, but I said, "I don't know what the fuck your intentions are with us, but fuck y'all." And so then we left. And I call an Uber to pick us up like 3 blocks down the road. And I'm just pissed off, man. I'm just pissed off because I don't know what was going to happen to us, but obviously this is not what we signed up for, right? So then I start texting Thilo. I'm like, dude, whoever you are, F you, yada, yada, yada. You're such a POS, all this stuff. He starts trying to call me, man. Call me, call me, call me, call me, just incessantly. And then he gives off the super creepy vibes. He sends me this text and he says, he's like, man, it was something along the lines of like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, I just wanted some new friends. And then he like tur- you know spins the conversation to blame me, right? So that was that we end up going to Deschutes brewery, to just, I mean, you needed a beer after that, right? And to get some food. And we're kind of decompressing from all that. And Daniel says, again, so did you ever like actually read the reviews on this guy's page? No, no, I did not read any of the actual reviews on, on his page. So we open it back up as we're eating dinner, and I just got chills, man, reading all this, because you know how you watch like all these Netflix documentaries on cults and stuff like that, and like how they speak about the leader. It's like worshiping them in a sense. That's exactly what every single of these like 40 plus reviews said. It was like, I've never met anybody more enlightened with Thilo. I've never met anybody more attractive and intelligent than Thilo. My whole life was, blankety blank, but now since I met Thilo, my entire life has changed. Yada yada, every single one just talking about him. So, man, I do not know, what his intentions were with us. Was he just, like, was he going to drug us? Why did Daniel have a room that said, welcome, Daniel? Where's David's room? What's happening to me? I don't know. Did you just need more money for heroin? I don't know. But, at the end of the day, I learned a very important lesson. And that is, never use the couch surf app ever, ever, because you think about it, it's the perfect type of app to where it allows creeps like that to take advantage of people, because they're using this app because usually they don't have the money to stay anywhere like a hotel and Airbnb, and then they don't know anybody either. So somebody that doesn't have a lot of resources or connections there, you're able to take advantage of them very quickly. So I don't know if that app is still around, but that was one of the most terrifying moments of my life, and definitely the most Portlandia type thing that I've ever experienced. But yeah, it was very creepy. Daniel and I still talk about that a lot, actually. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna get some dinner. I really appreciate all of you for hanging with me. I thought I would lose probably a bunch of viewers with that story, but hopefully it was funny enough and engaging enough. I'm gonna be on here with in 50 minutes with DMAC again, so it would really mean a lot for you guys to tune in for that, because it's kind of my celebration of reaching 4K. And I'm just so happy. You'll want to hear some of the stories that he has, not only of with the Buffs, but also his time covering Peyton Manning on a day-to-day basis. He's covered Denver sports for a long time, and he's going to have some hilarious stories to share. So anyways, guys, really appreciate all the new subscribers that have come in as well. Hope you like my stuff, and don't be shy in getting on here in the chat. So until then, until 7 p.m. here in 50 minutes, y'all enjoy yourselves. I'll see you back here soon, and Sco Buffs.